Thank you, Grace, for coming to have this conversation with us. It's a pleasure to have you here.
The pleasure is all mine.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to be having a rather very good conversation, I would say. Basically, just getting to learn about you, hear a little bit more of a few insights from your experience as well as a refugee. But just to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey as a refugee?
So, to start, I'll say Grace Konan, former Ivorian refugee living in Ghana. I arrived in Ghana in 2011 after the crisis, post-electoral crisis with my mom, my little brother. So in between 2011 and 2022, I had the status of a refugee. But very young, I started volunteering because as a francophone coming in an anglophone country, it wasn't easy. I saw a lot of my people, we had to be sent back in the educational system because we couldn't understand the language. There was no period of transition, so straightforward from the francophone system. A lot of people got discouraged, stopped going to school. Then drug abuse, teenage pregnancy. Then there's you. You know there's no one behind this. There's only your mom. My mom is quite old. She gave birth very late. So I always started like, I need to do something. Started going to school, learned the English, became more fluent than the people I was staying with. So that got the attention and said, okay, I think I need to start volunteering to do translation because even there were not enough interpreters in the camp to actually help with the aid organization. We had ADRA, the UNHCR, the Ghana Refugee Board. So what I decided to do, I was about 15 years. It's okay. When I come back, vacation, when I come from the boarding house, I want to volunteer. So this time I'm going to be an interpreter, help in whatever way I can. And that's how my journey started. So from then, it moved on to another thing. Then I started encouraging others. I know maybe you've given birth, you fall into abuse, but how about going back to school? I know it's going to be hard. One thing led to another. We created an association, tried looking for funds. Some of them could not stay in school because they are hungry. You tell them to go to school, and it's like, I can just go and work and get some food. I have 2 kids now. So try get some funds so that I give them a bit of provision so that they stay in school. So we've been doing that until the cessation. But I would say we continue doing that because even after the cessation, things are still complicated. Currently, I'm a member of the Youth Advisory Committee with the Dream Project WUSC. And that was one of the biggest opportunities I've gotten in recognition so far in this work that I've been doing. And it has opened greater doors to help me impact my community more.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm a social worker, a social work graduate, and that's my passion.
You mentioned about volunteering, and I think clearly so you've talked about the fact that even after going through many internships, it's very, very difficult to get jobs. So first, in terms of volunteering, what inspired you to venture into volunteering more? But then the bigger part of that question is really, how do we make refugees like you and many others who are still facing the challenge of joblessness to move to the next step of actually being creators of opportunities as well?
So how did I start volunteering? It mostly came from what I was living. You want to access a service, you're not able to because maybe there's no interpreter, or maybe the interpreter is even trying his best, but he's not actually conveying exactly what you want to say. So that's where it all started for me. But aside that, I started seeing challenges and like, what can I do to change this? It's actually paid me to see friends we were the same level of schooling, people who were even older than me, bright future, became drug addicts. So the whole narrative was, how do I make sure these people actually get back to school? How do I make sure I can support them in whatever way I can? So that's how it started. And to answer the second question, that was, how do we make sure that refugees are also creators of opportunities? To create opportunities, you also need to have that a bit of leverage. We like to tell ourselves that, you can make the effort yourself, but frankly speaking, it's a lie. It's a lie. If today I'm on the Youth Advisory Committee, it's because somebody was at the African Forum on Displacement, the previous edition,
in Ghana,
got the contact of someone, got the link, and was like, Grace, I need you to apply for this.
Yeah.
So in as much as we have to create those opportunities for other people, we also need the support to create those opportunities. So if the conditions are not conducive enough, you can't create.
Yeah.
You really can't. I know people in my refugee camp who are very industrious, very creative, but they are in a rural area. It's not going to work. A big caterer, she's so good at cake making. But how many people celebrate birthdays in a camp? And do they even have the money for it? How many of the local community, how many people from the local community will be like, I have my brother or my sister or my neighbor who does cake, but let me just go to this person, this foreigner.
Yeah.
How many people would do that? So if the environment is not conducive enough, how do I create those opportunities?
Yeah.
So we like to say that, oh, let them create, let them be innovative, but also create the condition for them to be who they are supposed to be and out there. My hope for the future is to see a more inclusive society. Inclusive society where we do not see ourselves based on our statuses, on our nationalities, see ourselves first of all as humans. Because when we are able to give that respect to each and everyone, we move past those boundaries. My hope for the future is to see refugees being recognized as people who have the notion of change and the power to change their future themselves, not just people that need to be given aid or just be given. My notion for the future, my hope for the future is to have refugees having education, not just giving their education, then let them go back and sit at home, but education that's going to empower them, create system, create an environment where they can thrive enough to have the impact that needs to be done in the refugee community. And that's my hope for the future.